Everybody knows that joining a retreat and doing it is a challenge. Actually, life itself is a challenge. But one thing that's unusual or special about Buddhist practice is that we reflect back on ourselves. Everyone knows that a lot of the time we have desires. There's things we want. There's ways we want to be. There's judgments that we make. But when we try to follow Buddhist teaching, those things keep happening by habit, but we reflect back on ourselves and try and see what's happening, what we're doing. And that's unusual. And that's important and special. And it's a challenge to do that, not just to do retreat, but it's a challenge moment to moment. This summer's always a bit of a challenge by the weather, except, I don't know, maybe Hong Kong and Malaysia people, it's not such a big deal. But anybody who comes from northern countries, it is. And this was perhaps the hottest summer on record in Korea, and very humid until yesterday and today. And everyone knows the hottest place in the temple, other than your own mind, was the kitchen. And but the circumstances that we run into, both our own karma and the outside circumstances, are the food of our practice. We cannot reject that. We can, but it won't be beneficial. We have to face those things. And if we're willing to face them and try to use the teaching and the tools that we learn, then we can chew it up. Just like when you eat food, just putting it in your mouth isn't enough. You have to chew it, and then swallow it, and then digest it. And then it becomes energy that can do anything. You can use any way you want. So at the last Sunday afternoon talk, Seung Sunim asked me, what is wisdom? And I gave him a pretty straightforward answer. What are you doing right now? If that's clear, if it's the correct situation, function, and relationship, it's wisdom. But afterwards, I wrote him a note and I said, I'm curious why you asked that question. And he said he was interested in experience. What's the difference, experience and wisdom? Or how does experience become wisdom? And that's a very good question, a very good concern. First, we have to actually experience what we're doing, what's happening. And many times, people, quite often, are extremely busy with opinions and ideas and don't even experience the life that's happening right then. And so we have to use this reflecting back and paying attention, training ourselves how to pay attention, not just to our thinking and our opinions, but what is the actual experience I'm having? And we have to be aware that we're doing that as well. So that means really being aware of what's happening moment to moment, of having our awareness become brighter and shining and clear. And that takes an effort because we all have habits right from birth with these body desires and then emotional desires and relationship desires and idea desires that we pick up along the way and make our own. We can't just blame others for the things that we hold on to, because we make it our own. But the first step is being aware of it. And that's not easy. It can be a real bummer sometimes, as you all know. But you also know it's really valuable to do that, to become more aware, to face it, and learn to deal with it. First, accept it and deal with it. Then once we're aware of experience, how does it become wisdom? Well, two things are very important. First, we have to have a question. We have to be willing to look at it and consider, what is that? That's we call don't know mind. Actually, the awareness itself and the question aren't separate. If we have a question, our awareness will become brighter. And then we have to have a clear direction. You can become clever by being aware of your experience. Say your direction is, how can I rob that bank? Well, you pay attention to your experience. Well, I see a guard over there, and there's people coming in and out, and you can, pay attention to those things. But if your direction is for yourself, for I, my, me, even if it's just for an idea, then you'll just become clever or stupid. But it won't be wisdom. What makes it wisdom is having a clear direction to want to understand our true nature so that our life is beneficial for ourselves and others. In other words, caring about the welfare of others. And we can also get attached to that as an idea. That's called bodhisattva sickness. But if you really keep trying, that will also teach you. And then you'll become more balanced. Because there's no separation myself and others. But we have to try and do it. And then, just like the porridge in the morning, whatever the cook puts in there cooks up together and just becomes one, hopefully delicious pot of food. In the same way, we can digest our life, our experiences, everything. And then it becomes wisdom. If we have a question, we're looking back at our experience, we're trying to be clear about what we're experiencing, and we have a clear direction. And one thing about retreat is, even if you come with the wrong idea, you pick up a little bit of the correct direction automatically. There's something about these situations that cause that. Maybe one of the best places to learn that is living with others. Some of us have our own individual room now. I didn't have an individual room for, I think, 13 years of living in a Zen center, even after I was a monk, of course. And if we live with others and we don't develop a concern for others, it'll become a miserable experience. So it's even self-defense to start caring about others in a very positive way. So first we have to really become aware increasingly of our experience, and then have a clear direction. And then when things happen in our life, we can catch it. And today I had to go out, and I was making a left turn, and this guy was coming straight on, way too fast, made a right turn. He made it pretty well in between me and the parked car, but he was really challenging himself because he was going way too fast and down the street and, zigzagging and stuff. And my first reaction was a little bit of anger appeared. And it was really good that I pay attention, because that's not going to help. We have to catch those moments. And that's what we're trying to do. When we're sitting on the cushion, when we're, maybe one of the most challenging times is when you're doing work period, because you're not in an air-conditioned place. And this summer was hot and humid. Maybe it was heaven for Hong Kong and Malaysia people. But I know it wasn't for a lot of others. It's okay, stay here for winter. So I'm really grateful for everybody's effort. I, of course, had a very interesting and unplanned retreat. And every moment of it was, you know, a kind of bright experience to be aware of and to deal with. And so it's like you can't fall out of the universe. If we have this practice direction, the path that Tanwal Sunim was talking about, then the whole life becomes that. Just like you continually made the effort while you were here, that continues. And so I hope, I'm sure everyone will continue to make an effort regardless of the situations that we end up in or that we go to. And if you're not living in a center, then go to one as often as you can. Or if you're not near one, join the online Sangha, where you can meet people in the digital realm and practice together. And that will help you keep that mind in your everyday life. And if you live in the temple, also have to make an effort to keep it fresh, because that can also become a habit. So I think I'm not going to thank anybody individually. Everybody's try is already the thank you. You know, you're giving that to yourselves. So I do appreciate everyone's effort, and I'm sure that we'll continue making that effort, and look forward to when we can meet again and do it again together in the same space-time, even though true nature is beyond space and time. So we'll be together wherever we are. So thank you very much.